All right, family, it's your brother Assad.
And I'm Adrian.
And we are back again with another quick video. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and hit that notifications bell so that you'll be notified when we drop new material on this channel. Secondly, in terms of housekeeping, we got to give a special and a significant and a particular and a peculiar shout out to our South African family for all the love you guys have shown this channel, my wife, myself, my children. We greatly appreciate it. Third, in terms of housekeeping, bam, 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 just like that. Third, in terms of housekeeping, the next meetup will be in January. Obviously, we didn't have one in December because it's December.
It's December.
And everybody's gone and people are traveling with family and stuff like that.
Maybe late January, too.
Yeah, we're going to try to do maybe the second to last Saturday in January.
Breaking.
Right. So let's try the second to last Saturday in January. What else has been going on? People, somebody said, you don't do videos with your partner anymore. I hope everything is all right with you guys. I don't know if that's how their voice sounded. I was reading it. I don't know. But no, yeah, she here. Our anniversary is coming up January 30th. And it will be 14 years married. 14 years married. That's right. So we're going to do something. And then before that, Adrian's birthday is coming up on the 31st. Yeah, she going to be 62 years old.
No, I'll be getting to the big 42.
Ooh.
The big 42. Can you believe it? I can't even believe I'm in my 40s. So
I'm 43, so I believe it every day.
Like, wow. Where'd the time go?
Look at all this gray in my beard.
I know. I got
Jesus Christ.
And I've been trying to decide if I want to dye my gray or not. Are you just going to keep your gray as is?
Yeah, I mean, I think a man dyeing his beard a little suspect. You that, superficial man going, man. Gray hair make a man look distinguished.
But I like when people's hair is white.
Uh-huh.
When they get to that page where it's just like white hair.
Your daddy got a head full of white hair.
Yeah, and so does my grandmother. I really like that look.
Yeah.
I just don't want to do all the in-between. And I don't know if mine will go completely white or if it'll be like my mom's side where it's just salt, pepper.
Salt and pepper, yeah.
So I don't know.
I got salt, pepper, and Kanye.
But sometimes
not Kanye. Kanye. What you call it? The red pepper. I got salt, pepper, and red. Ooh, Kanye. Jesus. Wow.
Look at you. Could you stop? We didn't go off.
No, I might die, man. I might die.
43, December 31st.
Yep. 43 years old.
No, 42. You're 40.
I'm 40. Oh, see, look, you don't know your age. I'm 43. She 42. But so I did a little quick video yesterday about this, and I just wanted to talk about it because we have to be aware of how the enemies, we are using the enemy's tools, right? Facebook, YouTube, all this social media. The Quran says, the devil will make evil fair seeming, right? So they give us these social media platforms, and they are great at bringing, and that's the fair seeming part of it. But it can also be used for straight destruction and evil. You look at a lot of the division in society today. It stems from social media. People are arguing with each other. I'm liberal. I'm a conservative. I'm gay. I'm straight. I'm Muslim. I'm Christian. I'm Pan-African. I'm a ADOS. All of these things or whatever have you. And they will use the algorithm to, the Social Network. Have you ever seen that documentary? It's a documentary that came out called The Social Network. Wasn't it called that? I don't know if that was the one. Yeah, one of them was on Facebook, and then the other one was just on like all these people who worked in tech. They worked at Twitter. They worked at some different places, and then in between they had like this little guy, the boy, who was showing him getting involved, getting radicalized because his algorithm would begin to show him stuff that basically confirmation bias, right? Mm-hmm. Everything showed, agreed with his concept of the world and his conceptualization of the world, I should say. And You know, I don't know if it was a little boy or the girl ended up getting radicalized. And you remember the scene where they try to keep him off of his phone? Like it shows like the this quote unquote background, like this Wizard of Oz type characters, and he's trying to be off of his phone or not, or something. Like, well, show him a picture of his ex-girlfriend. And he'll stop, and he stopped with 4.2 seconds, and blah 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 blah. Yeah, that's the way this stuff works. There's an algorithm, and it's not some crazy Wizard of Oz, but it's a program. So you're on this program, and believe it or not, when you start seeing stuff, that is okay. So yesterday I made the post, a quick short about seeing all of this negative information on Africa and the negative relation between African and African Americans. I was seeing stuff that was just so appalling and crazy. And I was like, well, where did this come from? This person had 300 views in 2 weeks or 2 months or something crazy like that. So it wasn't like this was a popular video where a lot of people were engaging with the content. It was just this couple of videos. And I mean, a couple of them were like that, 200 videos. I mean, 200 views, 300 views. And it's just like, Africans hate African Americans. And then there's this one that was showed, this is the most outrageous thing. It showed somewhere in Africa, because it didn't even specify. Somewhere in Africa, this lady was doing on the street interviews with people. And I guess the question was, do we need African Americans? And this one African man, we don't know. We can't say he's Kenyan. We can't say he's from Tanzania. We can't say he's from South Africa. We have no idea. He was just like, no, we do not need them. They are Americans. They have been gone for 300 or 400 years. It was most unfortunate, but they're Americans now. We can handle our own. We can whatever. So they show that, and then there's a Black African American who responds, and he was like, Africans don't want us. Ha, 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 ha. Last time I checked, y'all were trying to come over here or whatever have you. And it created this division. And both were irresponsible. The African brother saying that, so many people were irresponsible. The African brother saying that, and then as if he spoke for the 1 billion plus people on the continent of Africa. Two, the African American brother was wrong and in error for assuming that person spoke for the 1 billion people on the continent of Africa, and then responded.
The question was silly.
Right.
The question was just a silly question.
Right.
Do y'all need it? Why are you asking?
I don't. Yeah, I don't. But it is. But with that being said, so the African American content creator, he has a lot of followers. And then I start reading the comments, and it's all of these negative comments towards that. Right at it. You see what I'm saying? See how this comes up when there's this movement that is very prominent, that is becoming prominent, of African Americans rediscovering the continent, right? But and all of those comments, we don't want to go to no Africa, and blah 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 blah, and blah. You see. That is the way they use the algorithm to cause division. And if you don't believe that this movement is prominent, go watch the new Best Man final chapters. Go watch the new Best Man final chapters. And it is a phenomenal series. I just love seeing beautiful black folk doing beautiful black things. But in that, Sanaa Lathan's character wants to move to Africa, and eventually she does move to Africa. And you say, well, that's just part of the storyline. No. They're touching on relevant topics within the black community throughout the series. They touched on non-binary. They touched on the Black Lives Matter movement and the protests that took place around George Floyd. See, they're touching on relevant topics within the black community. So so she wants to move to Ghana, and eventually she does move to Ghana, because that is something that we are seeing across the social media. Black folk returning to the continent, black folk moving to the continent, and this scares our enemy. Because I've been serious this video, but this scares our enemy in ways that shakes him to his core.
How so?
Well,
does it really scare them? Do you think that they see this and they actually get scared.
Yeah, because we are wage slaves. Adam Smith in The Wealth of Nations said that wage work is just above slavery. We are still the economic driver of the nation as it relates to the production of work. We are the wage workers. We are the taxpayers. We are the consumers, right? You can, and I always say
That's
this:
such a small minority.
40 million people is not a small minority.
Still a minority. I mean,
It's
less
40
than
million.
15%, right?
Yeah.
And they still have like a large majority who are wage workers. And they have people migrating who are coming in as wage workers.
True, true. All I would say in response to that, if someone deducted your pay 15%, would you feel it?
You'd feel it.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. And then who's going to fill their prisons? How about that? Who's going to fill their prisons if we leave? But I always say this.
They'll find new prisoners.
I always say that
capitalism will find a new prison.
40 million African Americans are not leaving, but I don't even know if it's necessarily about the monetary implications. It's also about the awakening of Black people, right? The no longer the need to readily identify with just being a part of this American system, and now saying that there's options and other, because that's always been the argument. You don't like it here, go back to Africa. Well, I don't want to go back to Africa, right? So now you say that it loses its power. Where else you going to go? This is the greatest country in the world. No, we found out you've been lying. It's your definition of greatness, right? So I think it's more about the psychological implications also, but no, the monetary implications are real. Now, with that being said, we talked about South Africa and the number of people, expats, returning. So not African American returning, but there was a news. What was it?
Yeah, it was. I think it was on SABC. I saw a clip that talked about the number of South Africans who lived overseas for a period of time, and are like, we want to come home. And just talked about how everyone thinks the grass is greener.
Right.
Until they get out there, and it's like, oh, I miss home. I want to go home. One lady was in Northern Europe somewhere.
I saw another lady in New Zealand.
Yeah. Talking about like they're just existing. They're not living. Check to check, that expensive lifestyle.
She said her marriage suffered.
Yeah.
One of them said their marriage suffered because of the lifestyle that took place. So there was no time to spend with each other, whatever have you. So
it's real. I mean, it was good to see that, because you feel like you're always from... Many South Africans are always talking about how terrible things are, and, oh, you came here and we're trying to go there. And then you see this news story come up, and we're talking like hundreds of people who are returning. And I was glad they highlighted that.
Yeah.
Grass isn't always green.
Right. And I think it's important for those who have been on both sides. Like, you have to pay attention. Everyone is, I want to get to the United States. Well, I spent 43 years in the United States. You see what I'm saying? And now there's some people who will never leave the U.S. I just watched something the other day. I'm never leaving the U.S. This is the greatest country on earth. And again, it's how do you define greatness? And then those are people who have actually bought into the American dream. But I think you have to listen as it relates to that. You have to listen to people who've been on both sides. If you've only lived in South Africa, or if you've only lived in the United States, you only have a one-sided view of the discussion. For like those expats who've lived in New Zealand and returning to South Africa, so you gotta pay attention to them, right? They have if you have not left South Africa and they're telling you, I lived in New Zealand, I lived in Europe, or wherever have you, and I'm coming back home, you need to pay attention to that, right? If you have African Americans who are telling you, we've lived for generations in that place, right? And they're like, nah, this is better, at least for us. You should pay attention to that, right? I think it's very telling, Now, granted, you'll say, well, there's 40 million others who didn't leave. That's a good argument. That's a good argument. I can't go against the numbers, but I know that a lot of them can't leave. A lot of them are psychologically brainwashed. A lot of them are just plain old afraid. Who we were talking to talking to Brother Josh. Shout out to Brother Josh. He's in town, and he was saying that he went on safari the first time he came to South Africa, and they were riding out or whatever have you, and it was he and his wife and his daughters, and he was like he didn't know where he was, and he left out of Johannesburg. He left out of the city. He started feeling nervous or whatever have you. Then he said out of nowhere, two white boys on some bikes, just what I'm saying, like I guess they were, those bikes people used to exercise in or whatever have you, like those cyclists, right? Not just people riding bike, like legit cyclists, and they're just riding out, and he's like in the middle of nowhere in his mind, and he was like he looked at them and he envied their freedom. The freedom to move, because a lot of the way we move in the United States as African Americans is fear based. A lot of it is fear based. So anyway, that's the reason why a lot of them won't be rolling, or coming out, because a lot of our people move out of fear, or they operate out of fear. Let me say that. Then a lot of them are very comfortable. Let's not be, disingenuous. Some people are very comfortable, and to them, it's not that bad. Every once in a while they kill a black man, but they don't have to deal with it every day. And that's the truth. I mean, it's just the truth. You got people in Palestine and Israel feel the same way, right? They're like, every once in a while Palestinians shoot a bomb. Every once in a while Israel shoots a bomb, and we deal with that, or whatever have you. So if some people have just become well adjusted to injustice. And, so people wanted me to talk about it. The pool incident with the young man in South Africa. Boy, I saw, I got all kind of videos. I mean, I got the video at least 3 times in my inbox.
I haven't seen the video.
On Facebook. On Facebook and on Instagram. So basically it was in the Free State. They had a white-only pool. Or at least they try to say it was a whites only pool, and you see these white men grab up on these young boys or whatever have you. One of them jumped into the pool with the boy, right? Yeah, I'm like, that's almost trying to drown that child. You know what I'm saying? And so my opinion on it is that's horrible. That's racist and horrible. And in this day and age, it's totally unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. In an African country. That's what really adds insult to injury. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is Africa, so it's horrible. It's no dressing it up. It's no making it better. It's no saying this, that, and the third. It is absolutely horrible, right? And I saw the EFF respond to it. And I just encourage all free-minded black and white South Africans to reject that firmly, loudly, and to make an example of those individuals who did that. That's not a good look. And as I'm telling people about South Africa, that don't help the reputation.
They sending you a clip.
That don't help the reputation. I'm telling you, that don't help the reputation. But
maybe that's why a lot of people come and stay in Joburg.
Yeah,
too.
Because it's like
I always hear from folks like that wouldn't happen in Johannesburg.
No, I doubt it.
They even mentioned some of the little incidents and things that might happen in like Cape Town and stuff. They'd be like, that would not go down like that in Joburg. So
right, I mean, it's the same with certain things. Like, it ain't gonna go down like that in Atlanta. It's not gonna go down like that in the city of New Orleans. We got that. We gonna kill each other in New Orleans. We ain't nobody messing around playing with us. But with that being said, so we see this video, and the way, I don't know, just the way the universe works. 2 days later, a young boy in Florida being detained by the police. So in South Africa, it was just some citizens. But in Florida, it was the police. And he was trying to hand his phone to his friend. They were being detained. And he's trying to hand his phone to his friend. And he's sitting down, not even facing the police officer. The police officer walked around him, grabbed him by his neck, slammed him to the ground. Right? So It's just a reminder that evil is evil everywhere. You understand what I'm saying? Devils will be devils. And those who know what I mean. When I say devils will be devils. And they're going to be devils no matter where they are. Yeah. So we just, yeah. I don't know what to tell you about the pool incident. It was hard. People, well, Doc, what do you think about it? I think if I could cuss on here, I would cuss. I'll tell you what it's effed up. That's what it is. It's effed up. It's effed up when it happens in Free State. It's effed up when it happens in Florida.
That's crazy.
It's effed up no matter where it happens, you know?
Well, hopefully, I mean, since they are fellow citizens and not officers of the law, I mean, hopefully things can be dealt with like you would deal with a fellow citizen.
See, so that's what I'm saying.
If this is your neighbor and they're playing with your child, you can deal with a neighbor differently than you have to deal with an armed police officer.
Right.
So hopefully they deal with their neighbor.
So, usually when you see the cases in the states of that, it's like a lot of police brutality. So that limits the response,
right?
The level of response that. But had that situation happened in the U.S., a pool situation with citizens and not police officers, I think you would have seen a much more aggressive, almost volatile response in terms of the way black folks in that area or the surrounding area would have responded. I just think, it just would have been much more aggressive because these are citizens. It would have been bloodshed. Let me just keep it. It would have been bloodshed. No, not necessarily
a strong fight.
A strong fight. I'm not saying that somebody would have died, but somebody it would have been physical. So, but I'm not saying that's the right way to. Yeah, that is the right way.
Look, are these people bold enough to put their hands on your child?
Let me tell you something. Black, white, red, yellow.
Retrain their mind.
You put your hand on my. I don't care what color you are. You put your hand on my child. You better be prepared to die. You better be prepared to die. And I mean that. I'm serious. And I'm not joking. No laughing. Ha, ha, ha. Joking. You put your hand on me or mine, I'm willing to take your life. Without a second thought. And I'll go to jail and do push-ups and sit-ups and read the Quran. Facts. Yeah. Bismillah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Big old facts. Yeah. I'm just telling you how it is. Yeah, I'm just telling you how I feel.
That's how you gotta be with them, though.
Yeah.
They're so bold.
Yeah.
It's like that incident with this neighbor here. I was like, that's bold.
Yeah.
That's bold.
Entitlement. That's what that was.
That's a real sense of it. And, the only way to sort of check entitlement is to make people accountable.
Or let you know I whip your behind.
Yeah, they got to know to match the energy.
I'm going to give you that same energy.
You got to think about, they didn't fear an equal response.
That's what it was.
They felt like, I could do this. What you going to do?
See,
they need somebody to check them.
And that's why the police get away with it in the United States, because they know that they don't care about it. They don't fear a response. Oh, there's gonna be some protests.
We'll get off.
Yeah, whatever have you. But citizens typically know they can't. Well, then again, there was George Zimmerman. He was a citizen. Yeah, that was George Zimmerman. He's still walking around. So, facts. Yeah, and that's kind of makes me angry with black folk. I'm not advocating the death of anybody, but if we get out here, black folks step on your shoe in the club and you catch them outside and shoot them.
Right.
But here this man and shot a baby. Yeah. And he's still walking around profiting off of the death that he caused. Yeah. So, there's different situations for different people, whatever have you. No, I'm just letting y'all know. You don't put your hand on me and mine. That's not gonna play well for you. That's not gonna work out well for you. Because either I'm gonna tell you like this, I'm willing to die and I'm willing to kill. However it go. But at the end of the day, I won't live with disrespect. And disrespect comes when you put your hands on. Now you can say what you want. Yeah. Say what you want. I'm gonna give you some words back. I'm gonna give you that energy back too.
You gotta make sure you can take it.
You gotta make sure you can take it.
Ribbon.
Yeah.
In the ring if you can.
I'm gonna get it. Yeah, but the moment you decide you want to escalate and put your hands on me or put your hands on my child, I don't know how those parents controlled themselves. Because I'd have been down there at what?
Taking the child in the pool?
And then it's recorded and it's all over the news. Now I'm embarrassed. Now I gotta cut up. I don't care who it is. I'm just going to the place and cut up. Find me the manager, I'm beating the manager up. I don't care. Workers and everybody gonna get it. Everybody gonna get it. I'm telling you, nah, you're not about to do that. Nah. Gotta be a different response, family. We gotta start cutting up a little bit, you know. Put just a little fear in them. That's all, just a little fear. Fear is the basic element of respect. When you have just that little bit of fear, not being scared, that little bit of fear, somebody you respect them. It's like men, right? You know that there's this, as they describe, a low-level threat of violence that can take place between any conversation between two men. So it's always, you try your best to keep it respectful, because I know if I'm talking to this man, he's a man. He can become violent with me. I'm a man. I can become violent with him. So we're going to keep this conversation respectful. And the conversation can have nothing, it's not necessarily an argument. It's just a conversation, just talking, laughing or whatever have you. But there's always a low level threat because men can become violent. You got to have, and that's that builds that respect. So have a little, you know, instill a little respect in them. We ain't going to call it fear. We'll say instill a little respect in them. But anyway. And that's for black folk worldwide. Worldwide.
Especially when they're so outnumbered, y'all.
Yeah.
That baffles me.
Yeah.
Y'all in their homes, in their yards, protecting their neighborhoods. It don't take much to instill fear. It really don't. My God.
Yeah, and it's the principle. So nobody, it's the principle. It's the principle. Anyway, family, y'all have a good one, and we'll be back soon with another quick video.